Hey everybody, it's Chad with Nobody Else's Auto. Got some more super cool inventory to check out tonight. This is a car that my dad recently found stashed away in a storage unit. 1968 Dodge Dart two-door hardtop. This is a roller, no motor, no tranny, but the rest of the car is pretty much there. Very, very minimal rust. This thing is going to make somebody an awesome project, possibly a Hemi Dart Clone, great drag car. The list of possibilities is endless for this little Dart. Clean little two-door hardtop. A lot of good things about it. If you got any questions about this one or any other cars we've got here in stock at Nobody Else's Auto, just give me a call, 620-786-4428. And as always, hit that subscribe button. We got a lot of great new inventory been hitting the ground lately. You don't want to miss any of it. But for now, let's go take a look at this super cool little Dart. Dart 270. This car has spent the last several years tucked away in that storage unit. And this is how we found it. This thing still has the hubcaps with it. But we'll kind of take a look back, step back here, take a look at this thing, and then we'll start walking around and checking out some of the details on this little Dart. But as you can already see, the list of possibilities for this thing could be endless. Obviously the hood has been changed, the hood's green, but we can take a look up here up front. I mean, the grill is all still in pretty decent shape. Some typical dings and dents, but not terrible considering as much of the aluminum, as much aluminum as there is on the front of these cars. We'll take a walk down the side here. We see all the side moldings. We see this was a factory air car. Still has the air temp sticker in the window. And even though there's no motor or tranny in this car, it was a factory V8 car. We can look at the rocker panels on this thing. Even the bottoms of the fenders still look pretty clean on this little Dart. Now we do see one spot of rust on this right rear quarter panel over here. Right here behind the wheel. Obviously going to need a little bit of patchwork there, but considering this car is well over 50 years old, still not in too bad a shape. A lot of the trim still looks good. This unique rear window that comes down to a point in the corners. Come around the back, we still have the Dodge Dart molding on the back, the taillights, the rear bumper. This is all original stuff. It's not perfect, but it doesn't look too bad. But let's go ahead and take a peek in the trunk. Obviously, rust always an issue with these cars. And look in here. Even these little low spots have a little surface rust in them, but it's not rusted out. Spare tire well still intact. Around the edge of the trunk where the weather strip goes, still all looks pretty clean. Like I said, just a lot of ideas for a car like this. Over here on the driver's side, once again, all the original trim, the original caps. Just a pretty decent looking little Dart project. Over here we can still see where the V8 emblem was on the front fender originally. See the fender, the rocker over here on this side. Still looks really good. Let's take a peek inside of this little Dart. Door panels appear to be original. Still has the little 270 badges on it. Front seat apparently was recovered at some point in its life. But we can see the floor pans. Little surface rust, but that's to be expected on a car of this age. Dash pad is cracked and the radio is missing, but other than that, it's all here. The factory AC temp controls are still here. Dash cluster switches. And we've actually got the lower part of the back seat out of this car right now. We'll show it to you here in just a second. But we wanted to show you the rear floors of this Dart as well. Considering this car's age, this thing is really pretty clean. Even the back seat doesn't look terrible. Headliner has some tears in it, but it is all still intact, and I bet it's original based on the way it looks. So like I mentioned, there is no motor or tranny in this car, but let's go ahead and take a peek under this green hood. At the engine compartment. Once again, it is pretty solid up here as well. And was a factory V8 car. Even up here where it looks like the battery was mounted is not even rusted out. So, where are the other pieces at? We're going to show those to you here in just a second. There are some loose pieces that go with this car as well. And based on what we're seeing condition-wise on this thing, I think we're going to throw it up on the lift and give you a peek underneath this little Dart as well. Because from what we're seeing on the top side, sure looks pretty good. So I think it's going to be worth taking a look at the bottom side of this little Dart. So let's go check out some of the other pieces. So some of the other loose parts that are going to come with this car, there's the drive shaft, obviously from when the engine and transmission were removed. You notice the rear armrests were missing, but they are right here. Splash panels. Cross member, radiator, and here's some interesting pieces. The actual seat belts out of this car, looks like they're pretty much all there. These do still have part number tags on them as well. All color matched. And of course the lower rear seat. And I believe that is actually the original lower rear seat, believe it or not. So these loose pieces do come with the car to help out with whatever the future has for this thing based on whatever anybody's ideas are, because it's a cool car with a ton of potential. And finding one this clean and this solid just doesn't happen that often anymore. So let's go ahead and put this thing up on the lift, take a look underneath this little Dart. Well, we got this little Dart up on the lift. We can kind of get a little better look underneath this thing. Looks good and solid up on the front. We'll come back here, look at the transmission tunnel, straight on back through this little Dart. See the frame rails on both sides. The little car just looks really solid. Floor pans, really about as good as you can get on a car of this age. But like I said, this car's been stashed in a storage unit for years. Rocker panels. Rocker panel over on the right side. Like I said, just a lot of things to like about this little car. Floor braces look good. Back here to the rear frame rails. Once again, nice and clean. Rear end looks like an 8 3/4 tucked up underneath this little Dart. Over here at the other side of the frame rails. And all the way to the back. Like I said, just surprising how clean this little car is. But like I said, it's been tucked away in dry storage for several years, and the condition definitely shows it. You see a little rust coming through this quarter panel on the left side. Drop downs are still there, but there is some rust in the skin of the quarter panel. Drop downs on the passenger side look good as well. Gas tank is dented in, but that will probably be replaced anyway, depending on what somebody does with this car. But overall, it just looks pretty darn good. Well, there she is. I think this little Dart has a heck of a future. Somebody could restore it back to an original V8 type Dart with factory air, race car, Hemi Dart Clone, drag and drive car. Potential is endless for a car like this. Good solid body to work with, factory V8 car, and all the hard to find pieces are here. The trim is here, the window trim is here, the glass is here, the interior is there. A lot of that stuff that is so hard to find, all still here with this car. So this thing's got a bright future. So anyway, if you're interested in it, just give us a shout, 620-786-4428. And if you like old cars and trucks, be sure to check out the channel, Nobody Show. That's about all we do on here, the old cars and trucks, memorabilia stuff that we find. We jump on here, we like to share it with you. So this Dart was a super exciting find. Like I said, after spending the last several years stashed away in a storage unit, I think it's got a bright future out there for somebody. So hope you enjoyed this one. Stay tuned. We got a lot of cool new inventory coming in. We've had a lot of stuff hitting the ground. It's been super busy. So click that subscribe button. You're not going to want to miss any of it. Hope you enjoyed the little Dart video. Stay tuned. We got a lot more cool stuff coming up. And thanks for watching, everybody.